The misery of Syrians, 1 year after the earthquake, is intensified by the combination of diminishing international aid and ongoing conflict. Greetings and salutations to everyone. Today's video focuses on the aftermath of a powerful earthquake that struck Syria and Turkey a year ago. Despite the passage of time, survivors in Syria continue to face significant challenges, including poverty, extensive infrastructure damage, and displacement. Tragically, the earthquake claimed the lives of over 6,000 individuals in Syria, particularly in the northwest region where approximately 4.5 million people heavily rely on humanitarian aid for their basic needs. Regrettably, international support has been limited due to donor fatigue, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and conflicts in other parts of the world. The United Nations World Food Programme, which has identified more than 12 million Syrians lacking consistent access to food, recently announced its decision to conclude its primary assistance programme in Syria by 2024. With these circumstances in mind, let us now delve into our discussion without any further delay. In the northwest region of Syria, Sido Naji was jolted awake by the trembling of his house 1 year ago. Having grown accustomed to the cacophony of shelling and airstrikes during the prolonged war, he was taken aback to discover that this disturbance was caused by a powerful earthquake. Before the house crumbled, the 16-year-old and his father successfully escaped. While navigating through the bustling streets of Jinderis in Aleppo province, a cascade of stones from a wall came crashing down upon them, resulting in the teenager's leg being crushed and his arm being fractured. In the aftermath of the powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Syria and Turkey on February 6, 2023, the loss of life surpassed a staggering 59,000 individuals. The survivors in Syria faced the devastating effects of the earthquake, which worsened the existing poverty, demolished crucial infrastructure such as hospitals, electricity and water systems, and compelled war-displaced Syrians to seek refuge in makeshift tent settlements. In Jinderis, just like numerous other regions in Syria that have been devastated by earthquakes, the process of rebuilding has been virtually non-existent, leaving entire blocks in a state of ruin. Naji, who had to undergo the amputation of his leg, currently resides in a makeshift tent surrounded by mud. He expressed his concern about the lack of heating materials such as lumber, emphasizing the cold nights. Since 2011, Syria has been plagued by a civil war that originated as an uprising. The situation in the opposition-controlled northwestern enclave has reached its most severe point in recent years. Over the past few months, numerous individuals have lost their lives, and more than 100,000 people have been forced to flee due to the relentless bombardment and attacks carried out by the Syrian and Russian military. The seismic event claimed the lives of a minimum of 6,000 individuals in Syria, primarily concentrated in the northwestern region, which is home to the majority of the 4.5 million inhabitants who depend on humanitarian assistance for their survival. Approximately 800,000 individuals who currently reside in temporary shelters are in need of permanent housing. According to the World Bank's estimation, the earthquake resulted in over $5 billion worth of damages throughout northern Syria. However, the initial surge of global aid diminished rapidly. Amidst donor fatigue, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and ongoing conflicts in various regions, United Nations agencies and other humanitarian organizations are facing challenges in securing funds for vital programs that serve as a lifeline in Syria. In December, the UN's World Food Programme made the decision to discontinue its primary aid program in Syria by 2024, citing the alarming statistic that more than 12 million Syrians are currently facing food insecurity. According to Tanya Evans, the Syria Country Director for the International Rescue Committee, the demands on both sides of the Syrian front line have reached unprecedented levels. According to Evans, families are currently grappling with the dual challenges of soaring inflation and job loss, which force them to make agonizing choices between putting food on the table or enduring hunger. In the Idlib countryside, Yasmin Al-Ali finds herself trembling as she struggles to secure her worn-out tent and hastily constructs a trench in the muddy terrain to prevent her temporary dwelling from being inundated by water. As she pats the soaked mat within the confines of the tent, she declares, "See, it's merely water and mud. We require fresh tents." In the camp overseen by Yassin al-Ahmad, where over 500 families reside, the exorbitant cost of wood for heating renders it unaffordable. Consequently, the majority of individuals resort to burning plastic as a substitute, resulting in the emission of toxic smoke that permeates the camps. These desperate measures are undertaken by residents as they strive to endure the harsh winter conditions. Additionally, due to limited food availability and rationing, a significant number of people are compelled to forego meals, exacerbating their food insecurity. During a recent trip to northwestern Syria, David Carden, the UN Deputy Regional Humanitarian Coordinator for the Syria crisis, expressed the challenges faced in providing essential services such as water stations, education, and medical support in hospitals. As the demand for assistance continues to rise, Carden emphasized that it is impossible to meet these needs with limited resources. Despite the urgency of the situation, the United Nations was only able to secure 37% of the required $5.3 billion for its 2023 humanitarian response in Syria, making it one of the lowest funding targets since the beginning of the conflict, according to Carden. As a political resolution remains elusive, the conflict in Syria has emerged as a substantial hindrance for humanitarian organizations. Convincing donors to invest in long-term development rather than immediate humanitarian relief is a challenging task, according to Rosa Crisanti, the director of the World Health Organization office in Gaziantep, Turkey. The ongoing conflict has hindered progress towards long-term planning, as the focus remains on addressing the urgent humanitarian needs caused by the crisis. According to Ahmed Koteik, a construction worker, individuals have ceased relying on aid and are now attempting to gather whatever resources they can to revive and replenish their shops and farms. Koteik expressed his dissatisfaction with the international community's empty words of support and solidarity for the residents. He emphasized that mere rhetoric and thoughts will not bring any tangible assistance to the people in this situation. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.